Liberal Fox News host Jessica Tarlov humiliated her four MAGA co hosts after exposing their authoritarian sympathies with some pretty gross examples live on air in a heated debate that we have to talk about. But before we do, if you end up liking this video and you want to support the channel, please be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and alert bells before you go. All right, friends, it's time to check in with Jess, our favorite mainstream commentator, our favorite legacy commentator. I mean, this is a person, again, who has the hardest job in legacy media. She's in enemy territory, so to speak. Fox News typically has a hostile audience towards liberals and progressives. She's outnumbered 4-1. She's constantly heckled and interrupted, and yet she is more than a match for all of them combined. I have multiple clips to play, but this first one here is really sobering because it's a very heated exchange between Tarlov and Judge Jeanine Pirro, and my understanding is the two of them are friends, not just simply co-workers, but it's a pretty heated exchange and also really revealing about how disgustingly authoritarian Jeanine Pirro's sympathies are.
Gaslighting. No, that was me. I had beans for lunch.
There is a new lawsuit, and maybe you'll care about this because it's about an American, from the National Immigrant Justice Center. Here we go. Here's an American. There are 22 people that they're saying in the state of Illinois who have had their rights violated since Trump came into office, including a 54-year-old American who was born in this country, who had his stuff taken away, was thrown in a van, handcuffed, took 10 hours for him to be able to get out of there. Now, they had no reason to
got out. Yeah. Isn't that the point?
You know what? Then I'm going to throw you in jail for 10 hours and see how you feel about it.
You know what? Who are you fighting for? Are you fighting for the criminals?
I'm fighting for an American. Actually, if they, why can't you accept it? If mistakes are being made, that they should do a better job of this. ICE even had a declaration that came out last night.
You let them all in. What are you talking about? Do a better job.
We can always do a better job. I agree, but that doesn't negate the job that's being done. That's all.
Yeah. So a 54-year-old American was effectively abducted by ICE and detained unlawfully, and then after 10 hours was released. That's because the Trump administration screwed up. They overreached. They were excessive. They were authoritarian in their zeal to arrest, detain, and deport undocumented migrants. They're now throwing American citizens behind bars. And Jeanine Pirro say, how dare you criticize that? Are you supporting the criminals? No, asshole. This wasn't a criminal. This was an American citizen who didn't commit a crime. Your side, your team, your administration was objectively 100% wrong, and Jessica's 100% right. And a principled conservative would say, you know what? I support the Trump administration's crackdown on undocumented immigration. But yeah, this was absolutely a breach of civil liberties. It's disgusting. They do need to be more precise. They should apologize publicly and personally to this person whom they detained. And it should be a warning to the Trump administration. Be very, very careful. Be very, very surgical when dealing with these sorts of things. Instead, they're outraged that Jessica would dare bring this up. Imagine, folks, I want you to imagine the shoe on the other foot, and that's President Biden's administration. And for whatever reason, for whatever program, we learned that the Biden administration unlawfully detained an American citizen who hadn't committed a crime. What would Jeanine Pirro, Greg Gutfeld, Jesse Waters, and I don't know if Dana Perino's on, Dana Perino, Martha McCann, what would they have to say? They wouldn't stop talking about it. And understandably so, because it would be an extraordinary abuse of power under the Biden administration, for which the Biden administration should apologize. But it happened under the Trump administration, and they don't give a damn. They don't care. They are perfectly content for Donald Trump to violate whatever law he feels it's appropriate to, as long as they agree with the overall goal. Absolutely disgusting. Here's another clip.
I just want to be clear. Yeah. I draw the line at arson. And welcome back, Jesse. But I'm listening to him talk about how we're the crooks and we're the ones profiting off of the office. Did you say anything about Trump International during Trump's first term and every emissary, foreigner who's coming into town, wants to curry favor with Trump is staying there?
What was he supposed to do? Close it down?
Yes, you were. Actually, remember Jimmy Carter and the peanut farm. And then think about Trump and Trump International, or think about the crypto scam that's going right now. Trump has basically said, here's my bank account, babies. Please dump money into this. Melania has one. The kids have their own. You didn't say anything. Jared Kushner got $2 billion of investment from the Saudis. while Trump was in office. Do you think they did that because they thought Jared Kushner was
the difference
best
is,
business
Jessica,
professional?
the difference is they were already in business.
And you have no idea when Ocean Justice opened either.
So again, just a couple of things. Jared Kushner was actually, so when he got the investment from the Saudi government, it was because the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia overruled the financial experts employed by the Crown to manage the sovereign wealth fund. They were like, do not give Jared Kushner $2 billion. He is a liability. He is unproven in this regard. This is a bad idea. The Crown Prince had to overrule to give Jared Kushner that $2 billion. So it's not like it made a whole lot of financial sense, number one. Number two, that was immediately after Jared Kushner served as the shadow Secretary of State in Donald Trump's administration in his first term, Jared Kushner being Trump's son-in-law. That is a level of nepotism and corruption we have never seen from the Bidens. That alone makes what you think happened with Hunter Biden just look like nothing in comparison, okay? And she's right. The fact that during the Trump administration, he didn't divest himself from his businesses, and his businesses financially benefited from Secret Service business as well from foreign dignitaries coming to Trump Tower, patronizing Trump's businesses. Again, if the shoe were on the other foot and it had been a Biden hotel, these same conservatives who just shrug it off and don't give a damn would be apoplectic, and rightly so, but they're hypocrites. They're unprincipled, hypocritical losers. And so they know that they're outmatched on the facts with Jessica. They know they have no credibility, and so they laugh and meme and just heckle and interrupt, as they always do. It's pretty shameless.
I'm just saying.
Ocean Justice? You think
you are
that's
not
a legit
defending
business?
this.
Ocean Justice?
Yeah, I do think there are legitimate businesses and charities that clean up the ocean. It is a problem with the pollutants. I'm just saying that it looks so hypocritical for you to say just because Trump has been taking money from people for decades doesn't mean that he doesn't need to play by any
business. What are you
not
talking
in business.
about?
He's the president.
Democrats are stealing our money and
It doesn't matter that Trump's in business, lady. He's the president of the United States. He's not supposed to be using his position, his authority, his influence to benefit himself or his businesses financially. And if a Democrat did it, you'd be apoplectic. You're just objectively wrong. You always lose the debate on this. Donald Trump is objectively more corrupt than any Democrat who has ever lived. And you don't care because it's your guy. It's a guy on your team. It's not about principles. It's about specific outcomes. Here's some other clips of Jessica within the past 48 hours fact-checking her MAGA co-hosts.
That you want.
You're doing one right now.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you're doing that.
They are.
I found this one example. This one example that says it's bad.
$800 million from Johns Hopkins is more than one example. There's thousands of employees being fired.
What are the cuts? What are they cutting?
It's
administrative.
R&D.
It's redundant, and it has to do with technology.
The veterans that are getting fired, Social Security payments, that they're marking people as dead who are not dead.
How
do you feel about that?
Those are mistakes.
No big deal.
But the thing is, you will agree with this, and then you will go, but I don't like the way it's being done.
Because he's not
then how do you do it?
Doing it. You do it like they did in the 90s. You don't do it like this. Elon Musk is getting more and more government contracts. He's not having to look under the hood of what he's doing. His companies aren't up for examination, but he's going around doing this. You know, it costs 12 cents per day to keep someone who has HIV alive, right? And we're cutting those contracts.
We're killing people with HIV.
We are. Take a look at the New York Times article from.
We are getting them killed by cutting the funding needed to keep them alive. Yes, of course. And again, it's so fascinating. Elon Musk is given carte blanche to rifle through people's Social Security information, their banking information, all these sorts of things to, examine contracts and business relationships between the federal government and other businesses, but not his own. His own aren't subject to scrutiny by other people. It's incredibly gross. And Doge's record of success is non-existent. It's been a one failure after another. But again, they don't care. They're not about results. They're about owning the libs. Here's another clip.
Okay,
I'm
and
not
how about the
on
apartments?
this. I'm just saying, if you don't believe in due process anymore, then be honest about it, because that's what's going on here.
The only due process I believe in is the legal way to enter this country.
But claiming asylum is legal.
Yeah, well, only if you do the legal process.
But they
you
tried,
don't come
and then
illegally.
they're being disappeared from their court
They're
hearing.
being disappeared. Americans are being disappeared.
Yes, Mahmoud Khalil is a green card holder, a permanent legal resident of the United States. He is entitled to due process. He's entitled to legal protections of the Constitution. And again, she just doesn't give a damn. She just says, I only care about the due process of, people in who are seeking asylum or crossing the border legally. Well, crossing the border legally, which is a separate issue, I suppose, from Mahmoud Khalil, it's legal to ask for asylum. It is. It's legal to go to the border and ask for asylum, declare asylum. If you don't like that, change the asylum laws. And you have a president of your party in the White House, you have Republican-controlled Senate and House, you should be able to get it done, legally speaking. Why aren't you bothering to try? Because again, it's not about changing the laws. It's not about delivering meaningful results. It's about cruelty. And it's about owning the libs. One last clip between Jessica Tarlov and her MAGA co-hosts.
Case.
Funny you should mention that. No, there is good reason that everybody is saying alleged members and suspected members, because these people, as Dana said, have not gotten their due process. And there's an immigration attorney who has been posting about her client who was supposed to show up in court on Thursday, has been disappeared since then, is allegedly on this plane, and this person
what was he
is here.
Supposed to show up in court for?
What, he had a legitimate asylum claim. He had tattoos.
Legitimate asylum. It's not legitimate until a judge says it's legitimate.
But if you make it so that that person can't see a judge, then you're denying them their due process.
I don't know if I buy
What Trump is essentially saying is that the asylum system, as we know it, is done. That you can show up here and you're fleeing from persecution in Venezuela, for instance, and you don't get your day in court. So forward, then just say that. Be honest.
But you know the asylum system has been gamed.
Sure,
it is completely exploited by criminals.
Most don't even show up, and most don't get approval.
You can throw whatever you want at the wall. I'm still going to finish what I'm saying.
That's just facts.
No, but it isn't facts.
We should build a wall.
They're illegal. They don't belong here in the first place if they weren't invited.
Then just be honest and say it's not about getting criminals out. It's about getting everyone out who is here illegally. That we can pick up anyone. And that's not Whoopi Goldberg or Joy Behar. Obviously, they're not getting
deported. You do the worst first. That's what we're doing.
But why is this person?
See, one person.
No, but this is the first flight. Why can't you just wait to let everyone get processed?
So you agree?
Yes, it's the first flight of deportations of this
I'm going to give you this.
Again, all they do is heckle and interrupt. She's outnumbered 4-1. She has to deal with this shit. Like, her performance is superhuman under the circumstances. But again, it's about cruelty. It's about owning the libs. It's not about consistency. It's not about compliance with the law. It's not even about changing laws that you don't like. It's just, we have power, you don't, and we want to be cruel to these particular people. That's all this is about. And so we're just seeing a series of mask-off moments in which Jessica is forced to confront the worst sides of her MAGA colleagues on the air. And I think it's great work that she's doing. Somebody has to be there, fact-checking her MAGA co-host, exposing some of the Fox audience to facts because they would otherwise not get it, from Jeanine Pirro, Dana Perino, Greg Gutfeld, and Jesse Waters. But I have to imagine it's a spiritually taxing job indeed. A great performance by Jessica. In the meantime, let me know what you think in the comments.